morning, everyone. Let's go ahead and get ready like we usually do, starting with our 10 chin tucks and head turns. So we're thinking about really elongating through the spine here, rolling the shoulders back and down. Let's tuck back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, maintain that length. Let's turn back to center. Turn to the other side. Back to center. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so now we're going to get into a warm-up. It's a 4-minute warm-up, and we are doing each exercise for 1 minute. And then we had a request for a little more specific ab workout this week. So I did put some more ab moves in, and I kind of played around with the format a little bit. So this used to be one of my favorite formats. I haven't done it in a while, so I'm actually really excited for today's workout. And you can adjust your time as necessary, and I'll explain that as we go along. But we've got a 4-minute workout, and then we have 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of transition time, 12 exercises. Okay, 12 exercises. That's a 12-minute block, and then we're going to repeat it 2 more times. Okay, so it's kind of fun in the sense that it just keeps on, you keep on doing different things, you know what I mean, before you go back to it. But what I want you to do is, if you feel that 45 seconds of work is just too much time, you're going to pull back. You're going to stop earlier and give yourself more recovery time. Okay, so think in terms of like 30 seconds of work and then 30 seconds of recovery time. Okay, or 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds of recovery time. Okay, I'm going to be using the 45-15, but remember, all of that equals 1 minute, whether, however long you're working. Okay, so let's get started with our warm up. Okay, we're going to high march with opposite hand to knee. Okay, for 1 minute straight here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ready to do that. I'm going to do seated for half and standing for the other half. Okay, let's get ready. High march and begin. Okay. Ooh, I got my timer up loud today, right? So we're warming up the hip flexors. This is going to kind of help us get prepared for an exercise move to come here. So try to get those knees up high, turning on those abs. Opposite hand to foot pattern here. We're halfway. I'm going to move to standing for the second half. Next exercise is going to be our 4-count cherry pickers with an arm circle at the top. 10 more seconds here. Seated or standing. 3, 2, 1. Okay, 4-count cherry pickers with an arm circle are next. First 30 seconds, I will do seated just for demonstration here. Okay, let's get ready. Feet are outside the width of your shoulders. Okay, nice and wide. And here we go. We're reaching out, middle, in, up with that arm circle. Out, middle, in. So 1 full minute of this. At 30 seconds, I'm going to demo from standing, since we're just doing 1 round through. Next, we're going to do a thoracic spinal flexion and extension. Okay, we're halfway through, so I'm going to move to standing for the remainder of this. And I'll show you during our little rest period, our 15 seconds of rest between exercises, what that's going to look like. It's going to look the same seated or standing. Then we're going to be warming up the upper abdominals here and also the thoracic spine, which is, your spine underneath your neck and before your lower back. 2 and 1. Good. So what it's going to look like, seated or standing, okay? We're going to roll the shoulders back and down, and we're just curling. All right, we're just trying to create that curvature from the front. See what I'm doing here? So thoracic flexion and extension. I'm drawing that belly button up and out. You can do this seated too. It's just, I think for demonstration purposes, it's better for me to show you standing. All right, and where you should feel this focus is through that spine, that flexion and extension. My hips are staying straight, right? And you feel right here. Okay, that's your upper abdominals. All right, so the only thing that's moving is upper back. And then I'm pulling all the way back up straight. Getting our abdominals and spine primed for the exercises to come. Our final exercise is going to be our lateral 2-step with a crossbody elbow to knee. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. So our last one is going to be step together, step, knee, step together, step, knee. So you're trying to get that elbow to knee. Seated will be 2 lateral taps, elbow to knee. Okay, ready and begin. I'm going to finish standing. Less than 10 seconds, and then we're going to get into that 45-15. It's that 12-minute block. 12 exercises. This should be fun. I do like these. All right, guys. So I'm going to call them out as we do them. Okay, we're going to learn on round 1, and then round 2 and round 3 we'll already have that trial period. Okay. So our first one, I'm going to demo standing. It's probably the trickiest one to explain, so I put it first before we get rolling into it, so I can give you that explanation. It's a standing bird dog. Okay, so this is a core exercise. Okay, and I'm going to show you from this direction, and I'm going to show you from side, and then I'll show you how we do it seated. Okay, all right. So from the front, I'm lifting. I don't know if I look reverse on the camera or not, but this is my left arm right here. I'm lifting my left arm, okay? And my right foot goes back, right? Elbow to knee. If you're advanced, you may not need to hold on to anything. You might be able to do it without holding on, but the chair is there to help you if you need it, okay? We're gonna stay all on the same side. I wanna show you from the side because here's another option. You can either elbow to knee, tap back. Okay, my toes are touching the floor. Between every rep, you can touch the floor if you need that balance, okay? If you're advanced, you may be able to keep it off the floor. Okay, so I want you to play around with what works for you. Maybe 10 seconds works great off the floor, and then you feel some fatigue, and then you need to transfer into tapping the floor. Okay, play around with that. Now for our seated variation, we are going to be elbow to knee. Okay, all right, so we're going to do all one side and then all the other. Okay, this is our standing bird dog. Our chair pose looks just different. It's more of a seated elbow to knee because of the nature of our of sitting down here. So 45 seconds is going on the clock. I'm going to call out. The other ones aren't going to require as much explanation. So again, that's why I wanted to put this one first because it has the most. But let me just find my timer here. Oh Lord, where did it go? Oh, goodness. Sorry guys, hold on for 1 second. How did I lose my timer? Ah, there it is. Okay. All right, here we go. Bird dog, all one side, opposite hand to knee. Ready? And begin. Round one, I'm going to do seated. And then the next 2 rounds. So I want you to think about control, time under tension. So the longer it takes you to do the exercise, the more muscle fatigue you'll have. Think of that nice strong core control. And don't think that the chair variation isn't as effective, because if you feel fatigue or any kind of pain from the standing, don't think that the chair variation won't work for you. It's a good one. And time, same thing, other side. Okay, we've got 10 seconds to start, and then after that we're going to go into hay balers, okay, which is a fun rotational core exercise. But let's get ready to do the opposite side. Here we go. So we've got a standing bird dog or a chair, elbow to knee. Very intentional, precise, and controlled movements. We'll have other movements where we're moving a little bit faster. That's the fun thing about these larger blocks, is you get a variety of speed and tempo and muscle groups, okay? Fifteen more seconds here. Think core control, balance, stability. 5 more seconds. 2 and 1. The next one is a hay baler, all on one side. Okay, I'm going to put my palms together, and I'm bent slightly here, baling the hay. Okay, so like pivot on that back foot. Okay, like you have a pitchfork and you're baling hay. If you're seated with me, we're not going to be pivoting because we're seated, but we're still replicating that upper body movement here and working our core. The next round, we're going to do the other side. Remember to sink back into your hips a little bit if you're in the standing variation when you lower down, and then you come up. 5 more seconds this side. And 1. Whew, okay. Get ready for the other side. Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Next, we're going to go to a sit squat to neutral grip press. Okay, so nothing new for our next exercise. Just take a look around for your weights. If you're using some, you don't have to use some. You can always imagine you're using some. And again, if the overhead press is challenging for you, you'll give me a bicep curl instead. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Woo. Okay. So next, optional weights. Okay. You're going to keep them right here and drive up, press, down, down. Okay. If the press is too much, you're going to drive up, curl, down, down. Okay. I'm seated, so I'm going to do an alt leg extension press. And press. And press. Good. So sit, squat, and press, or alternating leg extension and press, or bicep curl if it hurts your shoulders. Okay. Next exercise we're going to do 2 bent over rows, a high pull, and a bicep curl. So it's going to look like this. It's going to go row, row, high pull, bicep curl. Okay. It's going to row, row, high pull, bicep curl. All right. Keep it going. Row, row. We also had a question. Somebody's going to their daughter's wedding soon and wanted some upper body exercises to do at home. So I really took inspiration off wanting some abdominal exercises and some arm toning work here for today's workout. And time. Okay. Next, we're going to do alternating front kicks. Okay. So weights aside, kick. You can hold on to the side of your chair if you need to. And if that's too intense, give me knees. Okay. All right. So kicks or knees. Go ahead and alternate. The kicks are too intense. Alternate knee strikes. Okay. This is abdominal work as well as leg work and work for your heart, cardio. Okay. Cardio is good for your abs too. They say abs are made in the kitchen. Okay. Sometimes, making sure you're not overeating, making sure you're getting enough movement. Those things will help trim down any, extra fat too. Okay. So besides ab exercises, diet and movement are important too. Okay. Next one is bob and weave. Nothing new here. Okay. All right. And then if you're seated with me, we're going to keep our feet wide and we're just going to focus on that upper body. Here we go. Remember, it's like you got to dip under a rope. Okay. They call it, this is actually called like a slip rope. And it's a boxer's term. Okay. Think about when a boxer's entering the ring and they have to go underneath the 2 ropes, right? That's kind of what you're doing. You're going underneath the rope to get into the ring. Ten more seconds here. And then we're going to go to our rear delt fly with the bent elbow and that internal and external rotation. Good. So some more upper body work here. You can use light weights or no weights. Looks the same seated or standing. We fly, internal, external, together. Okay, ready? Begin. Here we go. We're going to pull it back. Internal rotation, external rotation. Bring it together. Pull it back. Lightweight or no weight here. Keeping the glutes engaged if you're standing so we don't have any excessive curvature through the lower back. Good. We have 10 more seconds here. And then we're going to go into total body extensions, okay? Which is a great exercise for the posterior chain, your core, and your heart, okay? And time. So you know the drill here. Feet are underneath your hips, okay? If you're advanced, you're going to come up onto your toes, okay? That's only if you feel confident with that, okay? Here we go. From the chair position, it's a little easier to come up from your toes because you don't have to rely on that balance quite as much. And remember, this one's sneaky, okay? Because there's a lot of momentum driving this one. So it's going to creep up your heart rate, surprisingly. So adjust your speed and your time if you need to. If you start to feel dizzy, that would be a good indicator to rest, take a drink, okay? 10 more seconds here. We're going into cross body jabs next, getting into some rotation work and some oblique work. Put some boxer movements in here because if you ever notice, boxers, kickboxers, all of that have really great abs because all of those punches and twists work the core, okay? So crossbody jabs are next. If you're sitting, you'll pivot on that back foot. If you're seated with me, you won't feel that pivot as much just because of the seated position. I'm exhaling as I punch. Let your breath be part of that forceful exhale. Let that be part of the ab work, okay? Remember, our breathing works our transverse abdominals. So put some intensity into your exhale. We have one more exercise before we hit 12 minutes, and that'll be our first round. And then we'll do it 2 more times. Good. Last exercise is tricep extensions, okay? So I'm not going to go in a huge lean here. I'm just going to be I'm straight through my spine and I'm looking ahead. Kick back, okay? All right, so just really focus when the arms are in the lengthened position, the squeeze on the back of the arms, okay? Think about how that muscle is contracting. Remember, the more you develop that mind-muscle connection, the stronger those muscles are able to become. So it's really imperative to make sure when you're extending those arms long that your mind is like, okay, yeah, I feel that contraction, okay? Stay connected to it. We have 5 more seconds here. 2 and 1. Good. All right, that was our first 12 minutes. So we're going to go through this 2 more times. Okay. End up being 36 minutes of work, 40 minutes with the warm-up, okay? So go ahead and get your drink. All right, I am going to move to standing for this round. And we're starting with that standing bird dog for round 2, okay? And again, remember, if round for round as that fatigue accumulates, if you need to pull back on your time, do that and take more rest. Okay, so here we go. Standing bird dog in 3, 2, and 1, or you're doing that, that seated elbow to knee. I am doing the version where my toe is not tapping the floor, but you can certainly tap it to the floor. Exhale as you bring your elbow towards your knee and really feel the abdominals work. That standing leg, the one that's just on the floor where the foot's on the floor, that is getting isometric work right now as well. So no lunges today, but we're still getting single leg work in. And time. Okay, let's get ready for the other side. Okay. So opposite hand and foot now. Let's get ready in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Exhale. Extend. Remember, use the breath. Use that exhale to help contract the abdominals in. You can always tap your foot on the ground. You can always go to the seated variation as well. Hay balers are next. Five, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Moving back to our hay balers. I'm going to put my palms together here. Okay. And if you want, you could always just hold on. If it feels hard to put your palms together and you just want to hold a dumbbell, you could do that. Okay. So here we go. We're going to swing down, bail it. So this looks the same seated, except for you're not going to pivot because you're sitting down. Exhale as you come up and over. Show you from the side. See how my hips go back. My upper body comes forward, or yeah, bends forward because my hips are coming back. Good. 5 more seconds. And 1, okay? Adjust your tempo. If you need to slow down your reps, that is absolutely fine. If you need to pull back on time, please do so. Always get your drinks when you need it, okay? Ready? Other side. Here we go. All right, think you have a pitchfork and you're baling, picking up hay, and you're tossing it behind you. Or shoveling snow. Right? Well, that snow gets pretty heavy. It's probably hard to pick up a big glob of snow and chuck it behind us, right? Hey, sounds nicer. Good. 5 more seconds. Sit, squat, and press is next. And time. Whew. Okay. Take your drinks as you need it. Okay. We're moving to a sit, squat, and press, or a sit, squat, and bicep curl. Seated variation is alternating leg extension. Okay. So here we go. We're going to drive down, drive up, press. Make sure you're driving through the heels of your foot. Trying to keep the heart rate slightly elevated here. You should feel like on a scale of 1 to 10, like you're around a 5 to a 7. So adjust your pace to feel like you're around that. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. 2 bent over rows, 1 high pull, 1 bicep curl are next. Remember, take your drinks, okay? Feet are underneath the hips, toes are forward, whether you're seated or standing. We're going to hinge, row, row, high pull, bicep curl. Hinge, row, and row, high pull, bicep curl. I'm going to do it from the front now. 2 rows, 1 high pull, 1 bicep curl, okay? It's got a nice little flow to it. Five more seconds. 2 and 1. Good. Next, we have our alternating front kicks or alternating knees. Okay, if the front kick is too intense, go to knees. I am going to keep my hands up like I'm kickboxing just because that's how I've always done it. If you need to do something different with them, you can do something different. Core conditioning, some leg work too, right? If you need to break early or go to knees or go to seated, please do. 10 more seconds here. 2, woo, and 1, okay? Woo, okay. Bob and weave is next, okay? Bob and weave is next. That slip rope. Okay, here we go. In 5, 3, 2, and 1. Under and over. Make sure you don't bonk your head on that rope. All right, get it low. You can slow these down, speed them up. You're going to tailor the movement so that it works for you. Remember, if you're seated, your feet are stationary in a wide stance, and we're just focused on the upper body. Reared out fly with our internal and external rotation is next. 3, 2, 1. So light dumbbells or no dumbbells, please continue to drink. Okay. Your heart rate should be elevated here. Glutes are engaged, tucking the pelvis, pull back. Internal, external, together. Internal, external, together. Internal, external, together. I love this upper body movement. Works the shoulders, works the posture. Keep the core engaged, glutes engaged. Three, 2, and time. Okay, next we are going to total body extensions. Okay, so core conditioning again. Okay, feet are in front or underneath your hips, toes are facing forward, seated or standing. Remember, we've got momentum to this one. Our arms are like the swings on a swing set. If you're advanced, you can come up to your toes, but even if you don't, you're going to feel this nice strong glute squeeze and core engagement right here, because you've got to stop everything, right? So you got to squeeze here and here for that to happen, because everything else is momentum. Good, keep it going. We have 15 seconds. Cross jabs are next. 2, and 1. Woo. Okay. 2 more exercises, then we break before we go into our final round. Cross jabs, standing, you're going to pivot on that back foot. Seated, not so much, okay? Here we go. Exhale as you punch. Remember that deep breathing works the deepest layer of your core muscles, the transverse abdominals. This rotational movement is working our obliques, which are outside the transverse abdominals. Okay, so our abs are in layers. And we want to make sure we target all of them. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Woo. Get your drink. Final exercise. Let's focus on our triceps, the back of the arm here. Okay. So I'm just, whether I'm seated or standing, just a mild bend here. Some bend through the knees, right? I'm not locked out. Okay. And really focus on that squeeze when you're right here, right? That's when it's contracted, when your arms are extended long, elbows are straight. Squeeze. Squeeze. If you need to come up, if your lower back feels a little uncomfortable, you can always go to seated or just stand it up for a second, stretch out the back and come back to it. I'm trying to keep my neck in line with my spine, so I'm looking at a neutral point on the floor somewhere in front of me. I'm not looking up, like if there's a mirror or you're looking at me, try to look at a point on the floor to keep the neck in line with the spine. 2, and 1. Okay, round 2, let's get a drink. We got 1 more round to go through, 12 more minutes of work, okay? So, we know what's to come now. You can put your intensity in as you see fit, okay? Final round of standing bird dog. So opposite arm and leg come to elbow to knee. Okay, remember you can tap down, or if you're advanced, you can keep it up. You can do a combination. If you're seated, you're doing your chair squat, or your chair squat, your chair elbow to knee. All right, let's get ready. All one side. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Everything you're doing now is for the last time. So be intentional and in control of your movements. Right now, we're focused on working transverse abdominals, the deepest layer. And I really want you to focus on that breath. When you exhale, pull the belly button in. We've got 10 more seconds on this side. 2, and 1. Okay, we've got to even out. Do the same thing to the other side. All right. Which is, or did I just do this side? I can't remember what side. There we go. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like, make sure you remember what side you did first. Sometimes that can be really confusing. Remember, the transverse abdominals, that deepest layer, it's like a circle. It's like a belt, right? So the stronger it gets, that belt is going to go in a notch. All right. 5, 2, and 1. Okay. Final round of our hay balers now. Okay. So either palms together, or if you'd like to hold a dumbbell like this, that kind of like, if it feels hard to get your palms to stay this way, a little bit of space might help. Pick a side to start, and we're going to bale the hay. You should feel this glute working on that foot that's pivoting if you're doing the standing variation, as well as the abdominals. Nice total body movement, functional movement. Ten more seconds. 5, 2, and time. Whew. Take your drinks as you need it. We still have to do the other side. It's almost like a rotational total body extension. Do you notice? Kind of gets your heart rate up like that as well. Here we go. Other side. Working those obliques. And if you notice, you're getting this little squat in because we have to come reach back with the arms here. 15 more seconds. We're going to go to squat and press, or squat and bicep curl. 3, and time. Woo. All right. Sit, squat, and press, or sit, squat to bicep curl if the press hurts your shoulders here. Let's get ready and begin. Drive up, press, bring it back. Drive up, press, bring it back. Pressing through the heels, feeling the glutes engage as you're standing back up. Exercises like this are core exercises too. Okay, it may seem a little indirect because we're getting a lot of leg and shoulder work here, but it takes a lot of core control, especially when you put sequences together. Woo. 5 seconds. 2, and 1. Excellent. 2 rows, high pull, bicep curl, okay? Feet are underneath the hips, toes are facing forward, all right? Let's get ready. We're going to hinge the hips back, row, row, high pull, bicep curl, okay? Hinge, row, row, high pull, bicep curl, okay? Pins, hamstrings and glutes, rows, lats, high pull shoulders, curl biceps, okay? Got a lot of bang for your buck here. And the more joints in the body we have moving means the harder our heart is working as well. And our brain, because we have to think of the combination, right? A lot of bang for your buck here. And time. Okay, all done with those. Alternating front kicks are next. Okay, remember if the front kicks are a little too intense, come to a knee. Okay? All right. I want you to think of that as like as an ab exercise, okay? Kick, kick, seated or standing. You feel like you need to just kind of hold on to the side of the chair or wall, and you can do it much better, go ahead and do that too. And nice stretch for the hamstring here too. Hear my noisy breathing? 5 seconds. 3, 2, and time. All right. Bob and weave. Okay. Bob and weave is next. That slip rope, we got to go under. All right. Remember, if you're seated, your feet stay stationary and wide. Okay. Ready? Begin. Under and over. So in our workout, we make sure we incorporate movements that take us front to back, movements that take us side to side, and movements that take us in a rotation, right? Because they're all the different directions we move in real life, right? We want to be 3-dimensionally strong. Five, 2, and 1. Woo, okay. Rear delt, internal and external. Okay, we're gonna bring that heart rate down a little bit, work on some upper body. Remember, if you're standing, I'm doing this. I'm tucking, my rib cage comes in. That protects all of this. Okay, here we go. Back, down, up, in, back. Keeping those elbows shoulder height. In. In. 10 more seconds here. Then we're going to total body extensions. 2, and 1. Okay. Last set of total body extensions. Okay, that hinge, remember there's a lot of momentum. And then we have to stop that momentum with our glutes and our core at the top. Okay, that's what stops us. All right, let's get ready and begin. Swing it back. Either flat feet or up on the toes if you're advanced. You can slow this movement down. Okay, maybe it feels more comfortable to be here. All right, and do that. And you might be able to do this a little quicker. But it's just important you listen to your body and what it's telling you. 10 more seconds. 5, 2, And time. Woo. Cross jabs are next, okay? Cross body jabs, getting that rotation in. Working obliques and that glute, like that pivot, okay? Pivot you'll feel with the standing more than the seated. Ready? And begin. There we go. I exhale when I'm throwing the punch. All we have is our tricep kickbacks next, and we'll be done. 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Excellent work. Grab your weights, your water bottles, your imaginary weights, okay? Whether you're seated or standing, we just have this mild hinge here, okay? We're gonna go ahead, bend our elbows here. Here we go. We're gonna extend and squeeze, okay? Look at a neutral point on the floor and focus on feeling the triceps, okay? Focus on that muscle group. This is an isolation movement. The elbow is the only joint working, which means this is a tricep exercise only, okay? So put everything into that contraction. Triceps like high volume. They like a lot of reps. So that means lighter weight, higher reps. They respond well. They're a fast twitch muscle group. 2 and 1. Excellent job, guys. Whew. I'm definitely a little sweaty here. Let's go cool it down, okay? Let's start, if you can, with the standing. I really love this forward fold stretch because we get the posterior side, we get the shoulders, okay? Helps with our posture here, all right? The goal is to, ideal would be able to bend at 90 through the hips and then have those ears on either side of the arms there, the biceps above the elbow there. But it's stretching is never about forcing it into, position. It's just about taking it to where your body is allowing you to and letting it release from that point, okay? If this is no good for you, you're gonna come into a seated, I almost forgot to show the chair here. You're gonna extend your arms up long. Again, if your arms come here, that's okay. Wherever you can take them to. Good, and then let's come out of that. Let's everyone take a seat. We're gonna do a piriformis stretch for the glutes, okay? So we're gonna cross the leg over, flex this foot long, and then just leaning over. And you should relatively quickly feel that stretch through the glute here, okay? I like to keep my spine lengthened here. It's active more than passive is kind of rounding down, but then that takes it away from the glute and you feel more of the stretch through the lower back. And right now we're focused on the glute, okay? Good, same thing, other side. Flexed foot. All right, length, leaning forward slightly, feeling that glute. Lewis, I'm in the middle of a class. I can't talk right now. Sorry, guys. I'm live recording. You gotta stop. It's my neighbor. Okay, let's come out of that, guys. And then the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna arc it over and twist and try to look behind us here. Where again, wherever that range of motion is, if your head doesn't want to look over that shoulder, you don't have to force it there. Just take it to wherever it wants to go, okay? And just relax into that stretch. So that's the idea, is finding your edge, finding where it wants to go, and then breathing into it and getting comfortable into it. All right, and then let's arc over the next side. I'm still laughing at my neighbor. Okay, same thing, other side. You might even notice one side feels different you know, than the other. Like I say all the time, we're not symmetrical, you know, so it's totally normal and acceptable to not have the same sensation on both sides. And bring it back to center. Let's go ahead and inhale up, palms together. Exhale to heart, and one more. Okay, guys. I hope you like the new format today. I hope the ab stuff worked for you. Yeah, I thought it was fun too. Good. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah. I thought it was fun too. That was one of my, I used to do those a lot a handful of years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're still fun. They're still fun. So let me know.